All right, what components make up an after-treatment system? I recently had this discussion with somebody on one of my channels where I had posted a video about the after-treatment fuel injector, and I said something along the lines of this is one of the first after-treatment system components that you're going to see. And this guy in the comments mentioned that the EGR is actually one of the first ones, not this after-treatment fuel injector. So number one, he's nitpicking and he was being a keyboard warrior, but that's not the point. The point is that I am man enough to admit that I do not know everything, and I don't consider EGR to be part of the after-treatment system. So after just dismissing this guy for being the keyboard warrior that he wanted to be, I went online and I kind of went and did some research, right? So the first thing I did was I Google searched, is exhaust gas recirculation part of the after-treatment system? And the truth is that a lot of very reputable places that came up in the Google search, like Cummins, for example, states that they do consider the exhaust gas recirculation system to be part of the after-treatment system. All right. So that didn't make any sense to me. So I'm like, is it possible for big companies and big diesel people to be wrong about this? Am I right? Am I wrong? Is the truth somewhere in the gray in the middle? So I kept looking, right? And there are a few sites that didn't list the exhaust gas recirculation as part of the after-treatment system. But like I said, there was some pretty reputable sites that did. So at that point, I was kind of in the gray area where maybe, depending on your point of view, it could be or it couldn't be. But then I started thinking that this sounded like intellectual laziness to me, where people just didn't understand the terms pre and after. So I Google searched, what does the after in after treatment mean, right? And I'm going to read this to you right off of Google. In exhaust after treatment, the word after indicates that the treatment process happens following the primary combustion process in the engine. All right. So what EGR does is it does take exhaust gas, but it puts it back in the cylinder during the intake stroke to pre-treat the cylinder prior to combustion so that the temperature does not get high enough to create NOx. In Charlie world, that equals pre-treatment, not after treatment. We are prepping a cylinder to not create the emission to begin with. After treatment would be dealing with the emission after combustion, after it's been made. So there is that gray area, okay? And that's where I think companies like the ones I saw in my first search, like Cummins and a few other pretty reputable companies that I don't have a problem with, who list the EGR as an after-treatment part, I do think it's an intellectual laziness. And even some of my fellow diesel instructors that I went and asked to, a couple of them agreed with me, a couple of them said, no, it's part of the after-treatment system. I think, I don't have a problem saying I think they're being intellectually lazy too. And if we can't do something as simple as explain to young people the difference between pre-treating for emissions versus after-treatment for emissions, then what are we doing, right? Are we assuming that people are too dumb to understand the difference between preventing an emission from being created in the first place with pre-treatment versus dealing with it after it's been created with after-treatment? So what are your thoughts on this? And there is no right or wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going to just hate all things Cummins because they said something I disagree with. I'm not going to hate you guys for disagreeing with me. I don't hate my fellow instructors that disagree with me. I just think they're wrong. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is EGR after treatment, pre-treatment, or where I'm at right now is that I really don't give a shit. So it could be either one. But again, now they've turned me into being intellectually lazy as well. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what video ideas you have for me, and I'll put some out there for you. Thank you.